Hello, everyone. We'd like to welcome you to the Google Classroom Intermediate webinar. My name is Rosie Castle, and I'm here with Larissa.
Hi. I'm here over on the chat, and I'm happy to be here, Rosie, to assist in any way.
That's right. Okay, so let's get going here. So some things that are new in Google Classroom. The thing about Google Classroom is Google is always listening to the ideas that come from our teachers and the people that are recommending these things. And so a lot of these things that I'm going to show you right here at the beginning have come from these recommendations that teachers have given to Google. And so at the top is this idea that in the stream where you're posting your assignments and your announcements is the idea that maybe I post something, but then the third thing down or the fifth thing down, I want to move it to the top. So that way you click on the dots and you get the option to move it up to the top. That's a really nice feature because maybe you want your kids in your class to pay attention to that at the top. And sometimes it's hard to get them to notice something that's way down in the stream. Another new feature is whenever you click on the plus and you want to reuse a post, reuse an assignment from a different class, reuse an assignment or an announcement that you used from last year. So this is really nice. That way you don't have to retype everything. You can reuse a post. It's a really nice feature to use. Google Forms, that you can really do this in Google Classroom. Now they've made it whenever you attach a Google form, the students, whenever they submit it, it will automatically mark this done for them. It's very nice, very handy for the students, and very handy for you because all you have to do to be able to see the work is click right here where it says View Responses, and that takes you right to their answers. Another nice thing is questions. This way you can engage your students in some sort of question and answer session. Maybe you just want maybe a ticket out the door. Maybe you want to have some sort of discussion where your students, all of your students are engaged. So it gives you some options there with that create a question feature. The calendar feature. All of us like helping our students be better organized. Also, we know it helps us too. So when you go to the About, you've got Stream, Students, and the About. When you click on About and you click on View in Classroom, your calendar, or also if you go over to those three lines for your menu and you go down to Calendar, it's a very nice feature. Let's watch a quick video about this and get some more information.
Brand new feature in Google Classroom that many of us have been waiting for. It has finally arrived, and it is Google Calendar integration. So to access the calendar, you can do it two ways. You can come up here to the upper left and you can click on that triple line menu, and ta-da, there it is. Calendar is right there. So you can click on Calendar and it brings you to a week's view so you can see all of the assignments that are due. This was an assignment right here that I posted. It was called a test of calendar integration. I actually found out calendar was released sooner than I actually had access to it, but that assignment, since the last time I looked at it, was actually added to my calendar. So I'm really excited about this new update to Classroom. It's something that we've all been waiting for. What's nice is you can click on this drop-down menu right here. You can see I'm in all kinds of classes that my colleagues have made me a student of. So I could look at my chemistry class. I have a lab due today. Then I could filter it by my British literature class. I could see what's due there. This is my help desk class. Like I said, I can scroll over. I can see if anything else is due anytime soon. There's a an assignment on the 7th that's due for the help desk students. So this is awesome, and like I said, it's something we've been waiting for. I'm super excited that it's finally here. The other way you can access your calendar, I'm going to head back over into classes, is I can go into a class. So I'm going to click on test class, and you can also access the calendar by clicking on your about page. So as you can see right here, I haven't added any materials yet because this was just simply a test class, but I can view it I can view the calendar right in Classroom by clicking there, and I am pushed over into the calendar view. So again, that's how you would access the calendar, from either your about page or from that triple line menu. Again, highly intuitive, easy to use for all of us busy teachers and students. And this is one more fabulous update to Classroom.
So as you saw, a great organizational feature for you as the teacher and for your students. Lets everybody know what's going on in your classroom. So now some other things that we're going to take a look at is in the About section. It's really nice feature that they've added where you can have more than one teacher in your classroom. We're also going to look at adding some resources in your About section. And then we're going to take a look in our settings and maybe talking about these notifications and your profile picture. So I'm going to go over to my Google Classroom. And you'll notice up here at the top, I do have myself and Larissa in the class. And you'll see that we do have two different types of pictures. So I'm going to go to the About section. Over here along the left-hand side, you'll see the two teachers that are in the class, and then there's a button that says Invite. So if you click that, in this search box, I'm going to type in the name of the teacher I would like to add. You always want to make sure that you're pulling up their district one-to-one account, that RCSD one-to-one account. So I'm going to select Jennifer and then click Next. And she's going to receive an email invitation, but also the next time she comes into Google Classroom, she'll see that she can join. It also shows that now there's myself, Larissa, and Jennifer. Okay. Another thing that's really nice in the About section is the resources that you can add as the teacher. So possibly, for example, I have a link here that I want my students to have access to. I have a math graphing link that I want to always make available to them. This is a handout that has steps that I always wanted to make available to them. Another link. This right here is another idea that I had read about and I wanted to share with you guys, that if we're working on a rainforest project and I put together a whole lot of images for the students, this way I gathered all the images and I put them into a Google Drive. Then I took that link for the Google Drive and I put it here in the About section. So that way the students don't have to go out and do all the researching for it. I've gathered that for them. They come here to the About section. Everything's right there for them already. And just some more resources down below. So the way you do that is the same way you're adding other things to your announcements or your assignments. You click in the Add Materials, you give it a title. Again, the paperclip if it's coming from your computer, if it's coming from your Google Drive, if it's coming from a link, or if you're attaching a video from YouTube. And then you would click Post. And then another nice feature we have is if you go to your three lines to the menu and you go all the way down to Settings, the notifications. Notifications, the default setting is for it to send you the email notifications. And these email notifications, they do go to your RCSD one-to-one account. And one of the tips that we're going to give you later is talking about how to forward your RCSD one-to-one email to your district email. And those directions are also going to be in the online class. So these notifications are really nice, so that way you can see certain things that are going on in your classroom. But also, this is a nice feature. And this is something that's nice for the teacher to do, but it's also fun for the kids to do. So again, we went over here to the setting, to the menu, we went all the way down to settings, and then we click on change profile picture. This box will pop up. So if you have photos on your computer, you could just select this. If you wanted to go to the webcam, you ready, Larissa?
Yes.
Okay. Larissa loves doing this part. So if you click here, you do have to say allow your camera. Here we are. And then you'd click take snapshot, and it would save it and put it as
Oh,
your
you don't
profile.
want me as your profile picture?
Oh, I'm sorry. I really like my profile picture. Okay, so again, then you just click back up here to the menu, go back to the class that you're working in. And so we went over the About section, and we went over the Settings section. How's it going over there, Larissa?
Good.
Okay. Got a pretty full house here. So, one of the things that we are going to be looking at and talking about tonight is collaborative work with students. And we want you thinking about this as I'm going to be talking about the next section, is when we do have collaborative work going on in our classroom, what type of assignments do you think you could use this for with your students? And then, do you think this would even work in your classroom? Or maybe what kind of changes would you make? How could you make it work? What type of subjects would you make it work in? What are you working on right now that you think, man, this would really work? So just think about it while we're going through this. And then we'll have you answer it in the discussion board. So I'm going to go back over to my Google Classroom and walk through an example. So here I am in my Google Classroom. I have a collaborative writing piece. Got my learning target, where the students are going to work together to research and write an essay on the rainforest. And I'm going to go ahead and open this so that we can see what the instructions are. It says they're going to work with an assigned partner, and they're going to write the essay. I'm going to have a group leader, and that person is going to create that Google Doc. And that group leader is also going to make sure to put both partners' names in that file name of that Google Doc. And that group leader is also going to share the document with their partner. So that group leader has a lot of responsibility there at the beginning. And then the partner has to go to their Google Drive to get the file that has been shared with them. This is something that Larissa and I have had a lot of discussions about, that we feel like it's not just important that the students know how to work inside Google Classroom, but it's also important that they know that their Google Classroom work is sitting inside their Google Drive. So that way they know that they can go to the Google Drive, and inside that classroom folder, that is where all their work is. So it's very important that the students understand that. So this partner going to their Google Drive, to that shared folder, and getting this is just a piece of all that understanding. Then after they've worked on their rainforest writing essay together online in the same Google Doc, the group leader is going to be the one that turns it in. The other partner is only going to have to click that blue marked done button. That's what makes it really efficient. And then the teacher is going to be able to see, and I'll show you what it looks like for the teacher. Okay, so I'm going to go over to a student side and show you what it looks like for a student. So I've got Sarah. And for Sarah, she's got the same thing we just went over. I'm going to open it up. So as I said, the group leader, which is Sarah, she's got to create that Google Doc. And it's really nice because the teacher just basically had to come up, put all the directions in. Now the students are doing the work. So Sarah, she's going to open up that Google Doc. The next step said that Sarah had to add her partner's name to the title. So her partner's name is Joe, student, which for your information happens to be Larissa. And then it also said that Sarah has to share it with Joe. And so this is really important skills that you're helping your students understand. So over here with that share button, she's going to share it with Joe. She's going to type in Joe until she sees his name. She wants him to be able to edit and work on it. Going to click send. So then Joe's going to go to his Google Drive and his shared with me folder, and he's going to be able to find it. So this is a rainforest project. And this was for Sarah and Joe. So they're going to keep working on this together. Now, after they finish this, Sarah has the turn-in button. Joe does not. So that's why Sarah is the group leader. She's the one that created this. So Sarah's going to go ahead and turn it in for her and Joe because they have some amazing work here they're going to turn in. So Sarah's turning it in. Says she's done. She got the green mark. So over here on the teacher side, I love that instant, the way it tells you instantly that it's done for the students. So I'm going to click right here for my done. I can see that Sarah's, and I know that Sarah and Joe worked together, but I'm still going to open it up. So me as the teacher, I can see that this was Sarah and Joe's work because they followed directions. I can see their names here. This is their title. You know, for this title, I'm going to give them some feedback. So I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to give a comment. Title must be centered. Give them some feedback. It's very important. I want them to know that some editing work. And we know there's certain qualifications whenever our students are working with this. And then I'm going to go ahead and close this. And for Sarah, and it's very important that you also remember that for the grading, for the points, you can change this. I don't want it out of 100. I want this out of 4 points. It's going to pop up and ask me if I'm sure. Yes, I'm going to update it. And so for Sarah and for Joe, I'm both going to give them 2 points because they both need to go back and work on this. And I'm going to return this. Keep working on your essay. Read my comments. And this private comment to them means only that they are the two that's going to get this. Okay, so you've been hopefully you've been thinking along the way, could you be doing a collaborative project with your kids? How could this work with your students? And is this something that you could be doing? Maybe what kind of assignment could you be using this for? So in the discussion board, you might need to click on it and press the F5 key. Could you write in there, tell us how you could use it, or what would you use it for, and do you think this would work in your classroom? We love seeing what other people are putting on here, and I really hope that you guys are clicking on the discussion board and pressing F5, so that way you can read and see the great ideas that everyone is putting in here. The peer editing, the lab work,
Research,
the research, the
writing activities, collaborative writing.
collaborative writing, I liked where you were getting the ideas where they could write, come up with a word problem and then having someone else solve it. That was really nice. I'm just reading this one. I just read one where it was talking about having two different classes work together. Great ideas. That's why we love hearing from you guys. It's not just about us presenting. Okay, so in the next part, So in the next part, we just want to talk about some examples of some work that we're going to be asking you to do in the online PD component. If you've gotten into Google Classroom and worked in it at all, you have probably noticed that you do need to be doing some conversion of your Word documents to Google Docs or PowerPoint to Google Slides. And so that's some things that we're going to be asking you to work with. And something else is where when you are attaching things to your assignment, it's this really nice feature where you can either have your students view a file, students can edit the file, or where it makes a copy for each file. So those are some really nice features, and we're going to have you practicing that in the online class. Now, this is one of the really, really nice features that I think we talk about a little bit in the intro class. And again, we love to talk about it some more because it's a very nice time saver for you as the teacher, but also for your students. Something that we do like to say before you try to jump in and start using the Google Classroom app is that it's very important that you do have the suite of the Google apps loaded. And we're talking about the Google Classroom app, the Google Chrome, the Drive, Docs, Sheets, Slides. That's like the suite of the apps. And so this is, while you're watching this video, if you could be thinking of what is a way that maybe you as a teacher could use the Google Classroom app to help you, or what is a way that maybe you as a teacher working with your students, you could possibly use this Google Classroom app in your classroom. So we're just going to watch this quick video. In this video, we're going to be looking at uploading video and pictures to Google Classroom using our iPad or our smartphones. So first thing, you must have the Google Classroom app downloaded from the App Store or from the Google Play Store. And then next, you just take your video or your pictures. And so we're just going to go to our photos. I'm going to click on the share button at the bottom. Click on next. I'm going to slide over. And Google Classroom is one of your choices here. Now, if you haven't chosen Google Classroom before, you would go to More. You would go down until you see Google Classroom. You would click on the toggle and it would turn green. Click Done. Okay. So now that you've chosen the video or the picture you want to select, you click on Google Classroom. Now I'm logged in as a student and I'm going to select the assignment that I want to attach this movie to. I want to attach this to assignment number 5, Rainforest. And I'm going to click Attach. Now that the video or picture has been attached, I'm going to open up my Google Classroom app. I'm going to go to the class, open it. That was assignment number 5. These are the directions. I'm going to go to your work. And down below, I can see that my work is attached, my movie is now attached, and I've written in the private comment. So I'm going to resubmit the work. Now I've gotten the green check mark saying that everything is done. Okay, so hopefully you're getting some ideas there on how you could use the Google Classroom app. And in the discussion board, if you could just post an idea of maybe how you could use a way that you could use the Google Classroom app as a way for your students to, or a way that you could incorporate it or use it. And I'll give you a few minutes to think about that and post.
Look at this.
We love seeing all this feedback and all these wonderful ideas that you guys have here on the discussion board.
A bunch of awesome ideas about lab results, posting performances. There's a ton, and I hope you're reading it because I'm having trouble keeping up too. There's so many good ideas.
Mm-hmm. And we do want you guys to realize that the webinar is recorded and you can always come back to it, and the webinar chat. We realize that there's no way that you can I don't know, maybe you're just an amazing person and you're just such a speed reader, you're able to keep up. But we're not able to keep up with all this. So that way you can come back to this and say, what was that idea again? That way you can come back and say, find these great ideas that everyone's sharing. That's why we like doing this.
So I like this that they brought up, that students at home can use their phones because many don't have a computer. So it gives them that option to connect.
Exactly.
So that's a great
And I like somebody shared that as a teacher, it's nice because it gives you more mobility in the classroom. You're not stuck behind your desk. Maybe you're using your iPad or your phone to give the kids feedback.
And writing assignments.
Yes. Maybe for your math students, they're able to capture their work and submit it. I saw that in there. Just a lot of great ideas.
Students doing homework on the bus.
Yep.
I like that too. Okay, great.
We also love hearing the wonderful ideas about the creativity side of it, that it opens up for the students with the pictures and the video.
Can I bring up something that was put in the discussion board earlier, that how do I get a student view? Currently, that's not something that's built into a teacher account. You don't see what the students see. Some teachers have worked around that and used a student account just to log in and check it out, what it looks like, or have a student quick log in and view that. Someone else pointed that they gave feedback, and we'll show you where to do that later, but hopefully that will be coming.
Because as I said at the beginning, giving that feedback to Google, they're listening and they're taking that feedback and building it into Google Classroom as they go along. Okay, this is wonderful. And I really like that you're keeping Larissa very busy over there.
Come on, Rosie, I'm always
Come on.
keep them busy.
So our tip of the day is, when we were at the beginning and we were talking about those email notifications that you get through Google Classroom, those email notifications are coming to your RCSD one-to-one Gmail account. And some teachers like keeping everything separate, your Outlook account and your Gmail account. And some teachers like where they only have to go to one place to check everything. And so if you're one of those people that wants to have one location for everything, there are steps in the online class about how to get everything forwarded. But just as a quick overview on how to do that, you would go to your 9 dots, or lately I've heard it called the waffle. And then you would go to your mail, which is your Gmail. And then from there, you would see this toggle. And then you click on the toggle and go to your settings. Then you would have this window pop up. You'd have all these different options up here, and you'd select forwarding and POP IMAP. But we're focusing on that forwarding. And we would select this second dot here because we want to forward it. And then we want to change this to the archive settings because we want to keep everything. We're just going to archive it. And you do have to put in where you want to forward your mail to. And so the rest of the directions and everything are inside our online class. But this is a nice feature and a nice tip. Several of us in our department, and I know several teachers out there who have started doing this just because we started using these features so much. And so you're not having to bounce around and people are saying, well, I sent you this, I sent you this. This way you've got it. And you're always on top of what's coming in. So before I do the last feature, I want to go back to the Google Classroom, and I want to talk about, in Google Classroom, there is this question mark down here at the bottom. And if you click on this question mark, this is where you can see the things that are new in Google Classroom. And this is where you can also send that feedback to Google. So if you click on this and you click on send feedback, this is where you can let them know that, hey, we're really looking for a certain feature. And so then you click next and you answer a few questions. Another thing that sometimes comes up, and I see that we have just a few more minutes here. Another thing that sometimes comes up is a teacher says that I would like to archive a class, or questions about archiving classes. So in your main menu on your 3 lines, if you go down to the bottom, this is where your archived classes are. And if you click on that, you can see that they're shaded out here. And this is where I can restore a class, and this is where I would delete a class. So I'm going to go back to a regular class that I have. So this is an English class. I'm working in this class. And so if I wanted to archive a class, I would click on my 3 dots and click on archive, because you can't automatically just delete a class. You have to archive it, and then you have to go to archives to delete a class. That was one of the questions that we often get. Another thing that I know that we often see here is people will often say that the features about, I know I have all these students here, but they're not showing up when I have them listed here. And that's because all your students haven't joined your class. So that's another question that we also have a lot of times. Larissa, can you think of any other things that we might need to cover, or anything else that's come up in the discussion board?
No, I think that's good, Rosie. I haven't seen a lot of questions. I think most of the questions I've gotten to.
Okay, we are super duper here.
Oh, I know you said we're going to post the webinar, so tomorrow it will be posted in case you missed parts of it, and also the webinar chat will be on that sidebar, and then just maybe what's next for the week to come.
Exactly. Okay, so for your ticket out the door, in the discussion board, if you can post one thing you've learned or a question you have, and then we are finished with our webinar. So we thank you all for coming, and again, the online class does continue until next Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you have questions throughout the week, don't hesitate to, you can post them on the Q&A in the online class, or you can always contact us. And we hope you have a good week, and thank you for joining us.